Hey everyone, it's Ryzen, and welcome back to Let's Play Persona 3 FES to take 2, because, well, as you'll notice, this episode is delayed. Because, well, I had some technical issues, trying to work some things out. But anyway, now we can actually just teleport to the 5th floor. Also helps if I plug my earphones in, so I can hear what's going on. There we go. But, yeah, I changed some settings, so hopefully that'll solve the issue. But anyway, like before, I'm going to be posting a link, I'm going to be posting the new enemies you can encounter here in the video description, as well as the recommended personas. I'm not going to list the old enemies you can still encounter, just the new ones, so just to avoid redundancy there. Plus, I didn't organize my Bestiary that way, so it would be a real pain in the ass for me to go back and add that. In fact, I'll probably just run away from the new enemies, because I'm level 6, and that's high enough level for now. And I'm not going to get to level 7, no way. Not against these enemies, so let's try and preempt these guys. Oh, and I'm no longer going to be scanning enemies on screen. I'll just hit their weakness and go. I mean, I'll still try and scan them. Oh, great Beetle, okay. If, you know, just in case I miss or whatever. But I'll be scanning them all off screen if I encounter them a second time. Now, the Grave Beetle here is weak against Wind, so we want to use Angel. If you don't have Angel, I would just run away from them. So let's hit him with a nice Garu spell. Now, they do resist lightning.
Attack again. Here's our chance for an all-out attack.
Your all-out attacks might be kind of weak against this guy because he is level 7. Not bad. I wish Yukari would have actually used Garu there, but oh well.
Use Garu skills against the enemy.
It also has the bash attack that it can use on you. For light strike damage, and a normal pierce attack. Has a lot of HP for this point in the game, 163. So I gotta watch out for that. There are 2 other enemies here. One of them is pretty uncommon, the Trance Twins. I have a hard time pronouncing that, it's a tongue twister. Of course, now I get Angel with no problem. And against those guys, you want to use Apsaras. And, because they're weak against fire and ice. But they have a Mazio ability, so, which is level 1 lightning spell. So you don't want to use Orpheus against those guys, because he's weak to lightning. And, they have Mazio, which is the all-hitting version of it. And, Spirit Drain, which drains about, well, it drains exactly 20 SP from one target. Wow. Even a level 7 Grave Beetle only gives me 7 experience. Yeah, 20 SP at this point in the game being drained from you is actually pretty bad. That's not good. You can't get a Juzumaru in this section, by the way. Only on floor 4 and 11. Let's see if I can show off new enemies. Evidently, the game doesn't want me to show off any new enemies. Well, the other enemy you can encounter here is the Obsessed Cupid. They're weak against ice, so use Apsaras against them. They have a pierce attack, a Garu spell, which is level 1 wind spell, and Dia, which is the level 1 single targeting healing spell. Nothing too useful against them, or nothing too interesting about them other than the fact that they can heal. And they do resist wind, so want to stick to ice there, so use Apsaras. Pretty much the same personas that we've had. I mean, we are going to be fusing a new one, but not yet. Now let's get this guy. Oh!
3 enemies
I was stopping my timer there because I thought it wasn't going to be a new enemy, but...
I'll attempt to analyze the enemy.
Now, the Obsessed Cupid in the back there, Like I said, he's weak to ice, so let's take him out. The magic hands, I believe, are weak to fire, yes. So,
I'll attempt to analyze the enemy.
if I had the knockdown tactic, I would use that, but I don't, so hopefully Junpei will do what I want him to do. If he even has the Yagi ability at this point. So, Apsaras. Oh, and I don't think I mentioned this, but, you see how Apsaras has Cadenza? That's a fusion spell. I have that because I have, Orpheus and Apsaras in my inventory. And that gives me access to Cadenza. Which is actually one of the best fusion spells in the game. No, in fact, it probably is the best one. Yeah, I mean, the other ones are either too late into the game, or just flat out aren't useful. So, yeah, let's just attack. Really? That happened the exact same way in my failed recording. There we go. Junpei will take him out, so... Yeah, I don't feel the need to create multi-element personas because just use your party members to knock down enemies you can't. I mean, they might as well have some use. They're not useful for damage. Also, I gotta be careful because I get tired very easily, so I'm trying to avoid fighting any more enemies. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna show off the Trance Twins. They're really, really rare for some reason. At least I have trouble encountering them. And I do want to take on the boss. And, I'm pretty sure I can only handle, like, maybe 4 or 5 more fights before I get tired. Level 6 is sufficient. Wow, I blasted through to the top here. Took me 20 minutes last time. Yeah, there's 3 enemies over there. That's the boss. Those are the dancing hands. One of the hardest bosses in the game due to piss-poor game balance. Yeah, essentially the early game of Persona 3 is really, really hard. At least the early bosses. Atlas apparently has no clue how to balance their early bosses. Persona 4 has the same problem, to be honest. So let's save our game here. I'll just do it on screen because... well... I'm not very far into the episode. Okay, so we're going to want, for this boss, to use Orpheus. Oh, another thing that I should point out is reserve personas do not gain experience. Nor do any personas you use in battle. The only way a persona gets experience is if you use it to deal the finishing blow to the final enemy. Or if you have a growth ability on that persona, which will cause it to get a certain percentage of the experience it would have normally gotten had you been using that persona to finish the last enemy. So yeah, it's not like Pokemon where you can just sub in personas in and out, or like in Final Fantasy X where you can switch characters and do one thing with them and then you get experience for them. Nah, it sadly doesn't work that way. Alright, let's do this. That's why leveling your social links is so important, because of the free experience you get when you fuse them.
Guarding this area. It's strong, so be careful.
Yeah, these dancing hands are really, really hard, because... let's scan them.
Roger.
I don't know if I mentioned this, but even though it'll say when she finishes her analyzation that you can't see what it's weak to or anything, your AI party members actually can, even though you can't, which is kind of weird. So it'll change the AI. I could use Cadenza here, because it also gives you an evasion buff. A very, very good evasion buff, by the way. But I'm not going to use that here. Instead, I want to use... well, first of all, let's set Yukari to heal... oh, she has set the heal support. Okay. I must have forgot to change that earlier. I want to use Bash, because they're weak to strike attacks.
You attacked the enemy's weak point.
I shouldn't really miss them too much. But, oh, another thing is I want to hit them in the order of their turn order. Well, here it doesn't matter, but... like, say if Yukari was going in between the enemy's turns, I could knock down the ones before her turn, and say I missed the one that goes after her. I could get some healing in, or some extra damage in, or whatever before I took, well, actual damage. What was the next one? This guy. Okay. But I'm still gonna do them in the order of their turn order.
The enemy is
From
vulnerable.
first to last.
Orpheus.
Now, what makes these guys so hard is that
You struck
they
the
have
enemy's weak point.
Agi, Bufu, Zio, and Magaru. No, let's not do an all-out
Why
attack.
not?
And now we want to switch Junpei over to do nothing.
Fine.
And skip our turn. So and make sure Yukari's set to heal support.
Hang
We
in
don't want
there.
Junpei picking these guys up. So yeah, they can hit all 4 main elements, and the win one is
Prepare
to
be
everybody.
attacked.
And they also have Tentarafu, which is basically silence to everybody, plus increased chance of getting hit with a critical hit. Critical hits can only happen on physical attacks, by the way.
This is not good.
And they have Dia, which can
The
heal
enemy's
themselves.
already recovered.
Only single target healing, thankfully. But yeah, you see how they all wasted their turn getting up? That's what I want, because these guys will kill me if I don't do this. And it's really hard to level up to the point where
One more.
these guys won't be ridiculously hard. So, I have no issue being cheap here. If the game's going to be poorly balanced in the beginning, I'm going to take advantage of any cheap trick I can. Oh, and I want to set Junpei back to act freely, because if I miss one of them, obviously I wanted to do that before I started attacking them. Oops. If I miss one of them, Junpei will actually do some damage to one of them.
You exploited the enemy's weakness. Here's our chance for an
Nope.
all-out. If you
Not
say
doing that,
so.
Yukari. I only want to do an all-out attack if I know it'll kill them.
Alright, fine.
So, skip our turn. Let Yukari heal me back to full.
Hang in there.
I know this looks really easy. It is not. This will not work in the portable version because
Enemy's already recovered.
getting up does not waste a
This
turn.
is not good. This is
You
not
only
good.
lose a turn if you get hit with the same weakness twice in a row. And of course, you don't get a one more off of hitting that weakness a second time in a row while the enemy is knocked down. You do get a damage boost in this game though for hitting a knockdown enemy, but it's negligible compared to the all-out attack.
You attacked the enemy's weak point.
I wanted to target the other guy. I think
You
I forgot to
struck
set
the
Junpei again.
enemy's weak- Nice.
Yeah.
Alright, fine.
One more round of this should do the trick. Oh, see, I missed. So good thing I did that. So now Junpei, yeah, he'll pick up one of them, but that's okay.
Hang in there.
I suppose it might. I was actually kind of hoping he would. Yeah, see, that's why you can't
Prepare to be
leave these
attacked.
guys knocked down. Now, I suppose what I could have done is assigned a target to whichever one was still standing before I did that miss there. But, yeah. I mean, you could just leave Junpei as standby. He's not very useful anyway. If you don't want to take any chances. Which, well, I'm going to now because he's knocked down anyway. If a character's knocked down, they won't participate in the all-out attack, unfortunately. I would actually do one here, but
You struck the enemy's weak point. Here's our chance for an all-out attack.
no,
If
let's
you
not.
Say so.
Yeah, in fact, it's probably better to just leave Junpei on standby.
Hang in there.
I expected him to target the one that was still standing for some reason, even though
Prepare to be
that
attacked.
logically would never happen based on the AI script, and I should have known that. Yeah, Junpei's just here as a meat shield.
The enemy is vulnerable. Keep going. Here's our chance.
Now I'll
for
do an all-out attack because I know it'll kill him.
Let me at him.
I suppose you could go either way if you want to get the extra damage.
Keep up the good work.
If they silence you, you're basically dead. There's really no defense against. If you're wondering why I didn't use Apsaras or Angel, who have no weakness to the 4 main elements, They are resistant to fire, ice, lightning, and wind. Or electricity, as it's called in the game. Not lightning, but... if I say lightning, I mean electricity. And like all bosses, they're immune to light and dark, instant death spells. So yeah, there's just no way to really fuse something to deal with those guys. I don't know what you're expected to do. I suppose in the portable version you have those skill cards. You might be able to give Apsaras or Angel a strike attack, and that would be really good, but I don't know if you could do that this early in the game. And we don't have access to strike physical weapons either. But I'm just going to end it here. So this is Ryzen. Thanks for watching. Take care.